Persistence kills resistance. One of the number one things I find that prevents people from reaching their goals, from half the time from starting the journey to reach their goals, is resistance. Is that little voice in your head that knows all the buttons to push, all the things to say, all the stuff that'll stop you from even starting the journey. All those little things that convince you that maybe it's not really worth it. Maybe you should just stop, give it up. Why are you even bothering? It's that voice in your head that says when the alarm goes off in the morning, stay in bed. It's warm, it's comfortable. It's another 10 minutes gonna hurt. Skip today's workout. Why would you bother? Have that drink, have that meal, have a rest day, just chill today. All those things. That's resistance. That is resistance at its highest level. That is resistance coming to cripple you. If you haven't read the book by now, I would strongly recommend by Stephen Pressfield, Turning Pro, where he outlines in depth what resistance is and how it is fucking with your life. And you can't ever get rid of resistance. It's impossible. Resistance is always going to be a factor in your life. It is going to show up and attempt to derail you. What you can do, however, what you can control is your actions and whether you listen to it or not. Whether you allow that resistance to actually get to you. Whether you allow resistance to actually stop you from doing the things that you know you should do. This is the difference. This is what allows you to break through. The difference between those who have the life that you want, who have the things that you want, is that they overcome the resistance. They break free from it. They don't allow it to bring them down. They don't listen to that voice that is going to derail them from doing the things that they know they should do, from doing the things that they need to do to progress to have the life that they want. And I think today of all days, on New Year's Day, as we begin with all those New Year's resolutions, as we begin to make decisions on this stuff, well, I'm hoping anyway, I'm hoping actually that you started when you just needed to, that you didn't wait for that day one, you just started and got in. But as we're here on New Year's Day, and I imagine most people are setting their New Year's resolutions, the biggest resolution, the biggest gift that you can give is yourself is persistence, because persistence kills resistance, knocks it out, flat and dead. We've spoken about momentum, we've spoken about all those kinds of things, but persistence and continuing to show up will kill resistance. You know, that voice it'll keep coming back. It'll be reborn every single day and you'll have to kill it again. But persistently and consistently showing up without fail to do the work without question is how you win. It's how you overcome. It's how you become the best version of yourself. I cannot emphasize it enough, and I will continue and unendingly talk about it, that if you want to achieve anything in your life, it takes consistency and efforts. It takes persistence. It takes hands and motherfucking daylight. It takes just showing up no matter what that voice in your head says. It means just doing the work, regardless of what you feel like. And I think that's important to talk about today. As I said, most people are going to be making their New Year's resolutions today. They're going to be setting these big goals and how 2025 is going to be the best year ever. Fantastic. I'm all on board for that. But also, what we need to cover right now is, while motivation is high, while it is at its highest level, while you are feeling amped as fuck, and you're like, woo, let's go, baby, it's game time. While you are in that mood, you also need to file away in the back of your head that now you have made a decision. Now you have decided. You have set these goals. They are happening. They are getting done no matter what. And you are going to persist. You're going to be a man of your word, and you're going to kill that resistance by continuing to show up and do the work every single day, no matter what. That's how you make a difference. That's how you achieve it. If you want to break it down into more important things, break it down into action steps, action goals, rather than outcome goals. And we've spoken about this before, but I think it is worth reiterating that when we set these goals, so as I stated before, when I first started 126 to Greatness, my first phase 1, my goal was to not be a fat piece of shit anymore, to not hate man in the mirror, to not be a walking hypocrisy, to not feel like I had failed everyone, to not see the disappointment in my children's eyes when I couldn't do the shit that they wanted me to do. That was goal 1. That was the outcome goal. But I started with the action goals. And the action goals were very simple. They were very straightforward. They weren't easy, but they were simple and straightforward, and I could check them off every single day. And that was go for a 45-minute weighted walk with 10% of my body weight every single day. It was to do a weighted workout every single day. It was to eat an animal-based diet, to eat nothing but meat, fruit, and sweet potato every single day. With no exceptions, and I mean that, no fucking exceptions. It was to drink 4 liters of water and to take a daily photo and share it on social media. Those were my action goals. My outcome goal was, as I said, to not be a fat sack of shit, to not have man tits, to not have my stomach hang over my waistband, to have a six-pack, to feel good about myself, to feel confident, all those kinds of things. But on a day-to-day basis, you can't measure those things. On a day-to-day basis, it's not actually that inspiring to push you forward. But what you can do is give yourself action goals, to give you something to focus on every single day, in every moment. A checklist, to tick it off. Did I fucking win the day? Yes, no, end of story. And every single day, I did. I won the day, and I checked the list, and now we're at what? I don't even know. I got to start paying attention to where I'm up to. But I just win the day. As I said, I don't focus on those end ones enough, because I'm just like, let's just win the day. So I focus on doing that, on winning the day with my checklist. Here it is. Here are the things, and I take them off. And every single day I win the fucking day. But we're at 270 odd days now of winning the day every single day, without fail, without question. And that's how you get better. So that's what I mean when I say we need to have action goals. We need to have those goals that aren't based on the outcome. They are the things that you can go, did I win the day? Yes, no. And it will kill the resistance. It will kill that voice in your head. It will kill off, as I said, not forever, but in that moment, it'll kill off those things, because in that moment, your persistence will allow you to progress forward. Your persistence will overcome the resistance. You just focus on winning the day, because resistance will always rear its ugly head. It will forever be part of what you're doing. It is unavoidable. You cannot avoid it. So don't try. Don't try and fucking avoid it. What you do is you focus on what you can control. You know, there's consistent themes in this, that the things you can control, the things that are within your capacity, are the actions that you take. Did you win the day? That is the greatest indicator of how your life is going to turn out. How many days in a row can you stack winning the day? That's it. And if you just focus on that, it relieves anxiety, it relieves the depression, it relieves the sadness, it relieves all the other shit that comes with it, because you're not focusing on things outside of your control. You're not focusing on the future that you don't know what will transpire. You're not focusing on the past that you cannot change. You are focusing on purely this moment and what you're doing right here, right now, in this day, can you fucking win this day? And the answer is always yes. You can always win the day. You can always do something to make your day better, to progress you forward in some manner. You can always win that day if you just focus on the things that are actually within your control. And if you do that and you stack enough wins and you keep the persistent effort up, the consistent effort up, if you don't back down, if you give hands in daylight and you just keep progressing forward, eventually, lo and behold, you'll wake up one day and you'll be like, fuck, I did it. And then you move on to the next goal. And that's also why it's important to set action goals versus outcome goals, because I can nearly guarantee you that that outcome goal isn't where the happiness lies. It isn't that euphoric feeling that you think it will be. Don't get me wrong, it's fucking fantastic, but it's not everything that you think it's gonna be. I woke up one day and was like, oh shit, I did it. I did what I'd set out to do at the beginning of phase 1 of 126 to Greatness. I fucking did that. I didn't realize, to be honest, I'd probably been there for a few weeks before I actually realized it. But my whole life didn't change in that moment. My whole life changed when I decided and committed and went all in for 126 to Greatness. When I first began that process, that was the day my life changed. Not when I reached the end outcome, not when I reached the goal. It was the moments along the way. It was who I became on that journey. It's what I learned about myself undertaking those tasks. That was what changed my life. The six-pack, being in great shape, the confidence, the commitment, the discipline, the grit, the fortitude, all that stuff that came with it is fucking fantastic. It was really great to have, and is really great to continue to have, but it's about who I became during that journey. It's who I became along the way that truly counts. It's what makes the difference, and that's the difference maker, and that's the defining feature. Because who I became is so much more important than what I achieved. And it's about the legacy that I'm leaving. It's about showing up every single day as that best version and showing my kids that that's what they do. My kids know that I work out every single day. My kids know that I go for a weighted walk every single day. My kids know that this is who I am. And they're now learning those skills. They are now developing those skills because they see that this is who Daddy is. He is leading by example, because you can't show them. You can't tell them. You have to show them. You have to show them how to live. They're going to mirror you. They're going to copy you. They're going to come down to the words that you use. They'll spit them back at you. And the first time that happens, it's a bit like, whoa, okay. And I've had that go both ways. Some of the times I'm like, wow, I'm doing this right. That my 4-year-old, talks about commitment. My 4-year-old wants to work out. My 4-year-old enjoys being strong. That's fucking amazing. And then on the flip side, as we've discussed before with other addictions, like my addiction to Monster and caffeine and stuff, they weren't good ones. Your kids will be incredible mirrors to the life that you're leading. They will show you who you truly are by who they become, by what they mirror back to you. So if you have children, it becomes a really, really important factor that you are clear and definitive and make clear choices about who you want to be, because you are shaping who they are gonna be. So those choices matter. And even just if you want to make it on that selfish front about how you show up, those decisions matter. Showing up like that matters. And as I said, your persistence will kill resistance. Resistance has killed more dreams than anything else. That little voice in the head telling you that you cannot do it has derailed more lives, more dreams than anything else ever will. It's usually not the external that stops us from achieving everything we want, it's the internal. It's that voice in your head, it's what between your two ears, that is what stops us from achieving everything we've ever wanted. And the way to quieten it down, to turn that radio knob down, to make it go silent, is to just do the work. Consistently and persistently show up with fucking effort. It is mind-boggling how much of a difference that makes. Mind-boggling how much momentum can be built just from being persistent and consistent, from giving hands and motherfucking daylight. It is wild what can be achieved with imperfect action given consistently for a long period of time. I spoke about, this year and this phase 3 of 126 is the one where I want to see what my human potential is. I want to see who I could be if I sacrificed everything that doesn't serve me, that I was ruthless to all the things that do not matter. And we're like, 21 days in, something like that. 23, 24, anyway. And it was truly eye-opening, how heavily addicted I was to those things. I knew I was because the resistance to that was so astronomical that it showed me that that's what I had to give up. The resistance to make those changes, and if you have that as well, as a side note, if you have immense resistance towards making a change that you know is beneficial, probably means that is absolutely the decision and the change that you need to make in your life. But doing that highlighted to me, when I gave it up, I was like, wow, it was so difficult. My brain went into overdrive. The ridiculous level of that voice was no longer just whispering in my ear, it was screaming. It was on the loud fucking speaker. It was through the megaphone going, do it, do it. It won't matter. No one will know. What's a little bit of dopamine here and there? What's, little bit of TV, little bit of social media. And it would throw up justifications, and it would throw up, loopholes and ways round and all this kind of stuff. And it was brutal. Those first 21 days were probably the hardest I have ever experienced. And especially on top of that, because it was through that Christmas period. So I was allowing other vices in during that time because I had more downtime. I had more opportunity to have to face those demons. And it was savage. But on the flip side, after a week, it got a little bit quieter. After 2 weeks, it got a little bit quieter. After 21 days, it got much, much quieter. That the persistence kills the resistance. If you can just push through those initial awful moments, I genuinely find between 21 and 28 days, you'll have your first big breakthrough. You'll have that first moment that's like, oh, this is what it's meant to feel like. This is what I could feel like. This is who I could be. Usually you have another one at about the 90-day mark, and then a full-blown one at about the 126 mark. Is when you realize who you are becoming. You have those breakthroughs that the persistence kills the resistance. And it's so important that you just keep going. It's so important that you keep showing up, that you just keep overcoming. And it will, as I said, it will continue to rear its ugly head. It will continue to keep coming up. It will continue to try and whisper in your ear and break you down, and you cannot let it win. You just have to keep showing up. So set those action goals. Get really abundantly over the top clear on what you are wanting to get out of this life. What action steps you are going to take daily. Get yourself a big ass fucking calendar and tick it off every single day. I won today, tick. I won today, tick. I won today, tick. See how many days in a row that you can stack winning the day with your action goals. Don't focus on the outcome, just let it be. Just know that if you can continue to win the day, if you can stack up enough wins, you will win at fucking life. And this is how you separate yourself. This is how you make a difference. This is how you kill resistance with persistence. You just keep showing up. You give hands and motherfucking daylight. And this is what will change your life. So if you're ready, if you are fucking ready to make 2025 the year that changes your whole life, that you see who you can truly become, you discover the potential that you have been leaving on the table, shoot me a message. Let's get you into chasing greatness. Let's start that journey properly and discover who you can be on the other side. If you're not quite ready for that, click the link in my bio, grab my top 10 tools to transform your mental toughness. Lastly, if you took value from this, if this spoke to you, if you know someone who needs to hear this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Help me spread this word. I'm here every day. As I said, sharing from my experiences, sharing from the front as I go through this journey, hoping to inspire you along the way and help you avoid the mistakes and the pitfalls that I am in. But I'll be back again tomorrow. Until then.